Hello, bonjour. My name is Esturi for me, and today I am going to do the first of a number of history videos on various parts of World War II, specifically Canadian history in World War II, though there will likely be other videos about other things. Today I'm going to be looking at the history of Canada House, or La Maison des Canadiens, or quite simply, the Hoffer House. This is a normal beach house right on the beach. So this house is a very significant one, actually, and it has a very interesting history as well. So if you'll notice, this house is a little odd, and that's got barbed wire in front of it, a seawall, and a tobruk, and there's a bunker as a next door neighbor, broken seawall, landing craft in front of it, beach obstacles. You're probably saying, wait, what exactly is the story about this house? Now, so first let's go over where it is. This house is situated on the at the front of the beach at Bernières-sur-Mer, which is a small-ish French town along the Normandy coastline. In fact, this town was the site of Juno Beach Nan White sector, as in this was where Canadians came ashore who were assigned to the Nan White sector, specifically the Queen's Own Rifles and the Fort Garry Horse Armored Regiment in this area. And this house was there at the time that they came ashore, and this house really has a remarkable history. So let's first start off with the fact that this house has survived a lot. How much? Well, first of all, let's start with the Atlantic Wall construction. Obviously, it's kind of weird that there's a beach house, right here, while there's Atlantic Wall defenses all along this way. Right, and so in a sense, it kind of doesn't really make sense, right? Because you would think that they would have torn them down, and in fact, they did. The Germans tore down hundreds of these sorts of houses, these beach houses. Oh dear. As they built the Atlantic Wall. But for some reason, this house actually was left standing. There are a number of reasons, possibly why. It's highly likely that a German officer liked the way that the house looked and wanted to use it as his headquarters. I could not really find out if this is true, but it seems plausible. Now, not only did it survive the construction of the Atlantic Wall, it also survived the aerial bombardment and then the naval. Right, so it survived a lot of shells coming down on it, and in fact, if you see the aerial photos of the area, you will notice there's actually a massive hole right around here, here, I think here actually, but this house was largely untouched by the bombings, and if you see the pictures of it after the battle, there was a caved-in part of the roof, but by and large, this house was fairly untouched by the bombings. Now, when the 6th of June happened and when D-Day happened and the Canadians came ashore, it also survived the fighting that took place there. It survived grenades undoubtedly being thrown, bullets. You actually see in the pictures that there are bullet holes all over this side of the wall. I think you can actually see some of them today, but I can't be sure about that. So yeah, this is a very durable house. But at the same time, this house has a rather tragic significance to the landings at Juno Beach. And you see, that is that there was a machine gun post actually posted right out front here of Canada House, or possibly inside the house. There's also a tobruk a little bit further down that way. And as a result, for any of the landing craft that were landing here, dropping off their soldiers, they were landing right in the line of fire of the machine guns. And as a result, um, there were over 100 Canadian casualties in this area, a lot of them deaths. And so, yeah, this house, for some, was the last thing that they would have seen as they got off the landing craft. But it also has more significance in that it's a very due to its isolation, it's a very noticeable feature to the landscape. And in fact, almost all the pictures of this sector that you see, if they're of the beach, Canada House is somewhere in the background. There's a picture of that was taken around about over here where there were large LCTs dropping off their troops, and in the background you can see Canada House and this farmhouse over here. So this house was actually, for a lot of Canadians, the very first thing that they would have seen as they disembarked from their landing craft on their way into battle into Normandy. So yeah, that's kind of the history of Canada House. Now, remember, this is an actual house. Like, this is a house owned by a family. Ooh, you change that. The Hoffer family, the left side anyways, is owned by the Hoffer family. So that'd be this side here. And really what they've done is quite amazing, actually. Hervé Hoffer, the guy who lives here, he made this into a rather open place for Canadian veterans to come in and to visit, and is also sort of like a museum as well to the events that happened. And yeah, it's just really quite amazing, the history of this building. Today, it's actually known as La Maison des Canadiens, or Canada House, if you speak English. And to this day, you'll actually see Canadian flags in the windows of it. So yeah, that's the story behind Canada House. I know this is not exactly the most accurate rendition of it. I plan to update it so it'll look even better in the future. But yeah, if you're interested in learning more about Canada House, I will leave a bunch of links in the description. And I hope that you learned something new from this. In the future, I will continue making these videos to illustrate the history of the Second World War and various events, significant events, and important ones. So, yeah.